Prosecutors say mob families, high-tech cheating devices, and help from NBA figures like Chancey Billups and Damon Jones fueled a $7 million poker scam that's rocked the gambling world. What began as friendly high-stakes games in luxury homes from Miami to Manhattan was actually a rigged operation, one that's now erupted into a full-blown federal scandal.
The sprawling FBI probe into Mafia-linked gambling and sports rigging schemes is sending shockwaves across the NBA and across the United States. You're looking right now at the high-tech cheating technology that federal officials allege was used to rig poker games, an X-ray poker table to see through face-down cards, a manipulated shuffling machine to predict who gets the best hand, used, officials say, to steal millions from victims. Joining us now is casino game protection and cheating expert Sal Piasanti. Sal, an X-ray table, card reading chip trays, rigged shuffling machines. I didn't know this stuff existed. I guess I'm not surprised, but I didn't know it existed. Can you explain how any of this equipment is used?
The size and scale of the scam. More than 30 people have been arrested and charged, including alleged mob associates, tech specialists, and even celebrity hosts. Prosecutors say the ring had been operating since at least 2019, targeting wealthy amateurs and professionals who were invited to what seemed like exclusive VIP poker nights, until they discovered the deck was literally stacked against them. The technology behind the trickery. This wasn't old-school cheating with marked cards. It was high-tech and industrial level. Investigators uncovered a suite of devices and modifications that turned the games into rigged spectacles.
Oh, I can explain all of it. The X-ray table. That's just a table that has cameras built into it that look upward at the cards. It can actually see through the green felt, so you can use any of cards. As long as the cards lie above the camera can see what that card is and then transmit it. The shuffle machines. We just did a special on YouTube, and where a shuffle machine was hacked. What happens is the Deckmate 2 has a camera in it. And what that camera does, it notifies the casino or the dealer or the house if a card is missing. Also, if you took a deck of cards and put it into that machine, the cameras know every card and can actually sort that deck out and put it back in order for you for the next day or the next play. Well, the cheaters came up with ways of utilizing that camera as well to know what cards are being dealt and who's getting them. And that shuffle machine is altered to transmit to an earpiece to tell the people who were going to win. Also, there are machines that were also designed to do a false shuffle, where when the cheaters put the deck into the machine, it sounds like the cards are being shuffled, but they're not. And then as far as the analyzer, the tray, this has been around for a long time. It's not new by no means. If you want to see a quick example of it, it can be built into the tray or it's built into a cell phone. And basically what happens is this. You could take this deck of cards. Well, first of all, this is a regular phone. It looks like a regular phone. Put your SIM card in it, and it acts like a regular phone. But when I put in a code, now it becomes a cheating phone. So let's go to Texas Hold'em. How many players? Let's say you can name any amount. We'll say 3 to keep it easy. 3 players. And I'm going to put this on loud so you can hear it. So I'm going to put it on speaker.
Okay.
And now it's ready to go.
Yeah.
So when this deck of cards right now is shuffled, it could be in a shuffle machine. It doesn't make a difference. When the dealer takes them out and cuts them, listen to the phone.
3-2.
3-2. That means right now, seat 3 is going to win. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ace 5 is winning. Here's your burn. There's your flop. 2 pair. Burn, flop, burn, and C3 wins. This phone will tell you who's going to win. You heard it out loud, but this phone would also transmit to an earpiece.
Yeah.
This system could also be designed, built. Sure.
Yeah.
Anything.
But the earpiece thing, is that also relevant for the the camera under the table that can read through the felt, because the dealer is not under the table. He's not seeing it. So somebody else is seeing these images and speaking to the dealer or whomever in their earpiece. Is that right?
Correct. That's right. That information is transmitted elsewhere, and that person receiving the information sends it back. And the earpiece, believe me, is very tiny. This is one of the earpieces that I demonstrate. I don't know if you can see that.
You got to move the camera. Hold it up a little bit. Oh my God.
That's it.
That's pretty teeny.
So
that's like a 1 milligram pill.
Oh, totally. And it goes right into the ear. So now, right now, that earpiece is right next to my eardrum. If you were talking to me, sitting right next to me, you could look in, you can't see it. When my partner's talking to me, I hear it so loud. And there's only one way to get that out right now. Magnet.
Yeah, I was going to say. Oh my God, yeah, because otherwise it's going to go in forever and cause you depth perception problems. Sal Piasanti, I could do 6 hours with you on this. This is fascinating. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your expertise.
Infrared and X-ray style tables capable of reading chips and cards beneath the felt, giving the cheaters a real-time view of every move before it even happened. Altered shuffling machines that secretly mapped card order before the deal, letting insiders know exactly which hands would crush their opponents, long before the flop hit the table. Chip trays with hidden micro cameras, sending live video of face-down cards to handlers in another room, who relayed the information through subtle signals, a cough, a gesture, even a tap on the table. Special contact lenses and glasses allowing certain players to see otherwise invisible markings on cards, turning what looked like normal gameplay into a high-tech magic trick. Together, this setup made the games impossible to win for anyone on the outside. Every hand, every bluff, every pot, already decided before the cards even left the dealer's hand. We searched far and wide to uncover the biggest poker scandals of all time. Stories of greed, deception, and high-stakes betrayal that shook the game to its core. Now it's your turn to help. Drop a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe for more insane poker stories every week. Sports betting and the famous faces at the table. Names like Chancey Billups and Damon Jones, both former NBA players, were allegedly used as face cards, the bait that made these private games feel legitimate. Billups, known as Mr. Big Shot and a former NBA Finals MVP, carried instant credibility. If he's at the table, it's gotta be real, right? And then there's Damon Jones, former Cavaliers sharpshooter and coach, full of charisma and connections. The kind of guy who could turn a friendly card game into a celebrity event overnight. But that was the trick. These familiar faces gave the illusion of prestige, while the real game was being played underneath the table. Their presence drew in high rollers eager to play cards with famous athletes, not realizing that their every move was being monitored and manipulated. According to court filings, these celebrities weren't the ones running the tech, but their roles as trusted, charismatic hosts gave the entire setup a sense of authenticity. Once the buy-ins were locked and the cards were dealt, the victims were already trapped in a rigged game they could never win.
Federal investigations into illegal gambling and betting scandals send shockwaves through the NBA. The FBI arrested 34 people in connection to 2 separate cases, including Portland Trailblazers coach Chancey Billups, who appeared in court yesterday. So one of the cases involves allegations of rigged, high-stakes poker games. Prosecutors allege the operation involves 4 of New York's most notorious organized crime families and used celebrities to lure victims known as fish.
What the victims, the fish, didn't know is that everybody else at the poker game, from the dealer to the players, were in on the scam.
I want to bring in Sal Piasanti, president of Universal Game Protection Development. Also, I want to say that you're also known as casino consultant and cheating expert. You know a lot about people rigging poker games. Prosecutors say these poker games involved sophisticated technology. Let's start first things first, the glasses. How would someone use a pair of glasses to cheat?
Well,
You look at a deck of cards like this, for example. You look at a deck like this, and honestly, you can look at this deck as close as you want. You will not see any markings on these cards whatsoever. However, when I put these glasses on, which you see many poker players wear, now it's different. If I look at this card right here, that's a 6, that's a 2, that's a 5, that's a 10 value, that's a 7, that's a 2. So with these glasses, I can actually see the marks on the cards. Now, we tried this before. It worked on some videos, but sometimes it didn't. If you look through that filter,
Yes.
you might be able to see the mark on that card.
Yep. Okay, I got you. There's so many other equipment things too. Okay, we got the glasses, a rigged shuffle machine, and scanning devices. Let's talk about that.
Okay, I don't have a rigged shuffle machine here.
Okay.
They go for 100,000 if you know a guy, which I do know a guy.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Our buddy Sal? Yeah, let's just say he knows a guy. You need a rigged shuffler or maybe a table that can see through? Boom! Sal's got a cousin for that. Our buddy Sal's got a guy for everything. And honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way.
What the machine does, it's a deck made too. It's made by Light & Wonder, the biggest casino supplier. And the shuffle machine legitimately has a camera in it. And that camera films every card being dealt, and it knows what came out. And if there's a card missing, it knows exactly what card is missing. Also, at the end of the day, a casino employee could put a deck of cards into that machine, and that machine will put it back in order. Now, the cheaters found a way of putting that camera into the machine, and since it knows what's being dealt, they rigged the machine to be able to transmit to the players on the table who's going to win.
The Mafia connection and the aftermath. Federal prosecutors say the poker cheating ring was backed by 3 of New York's most powerful crime families: the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese families. They supplied protection, enforcement, and muscle. The U.S. Attorney's Office said, beginning as early as 2019, the defendants engaged in a series of schemes to use wireless cheating technology to rig illegal poker games, most commonly Texas Hold'em, in the Eastern District of New York and across the United States. The conspirators used modified shuffling machines, hidden cameras, and digital communication devices to transmit the order of cards and other players' hole cards in real time, ensuring certain participants would win. When players refused to pay debts or questioned their losses, the response was classic mob: intimidation, threats, and offers they couldn't refuse. Some victims were allegedly extorted or pressured into silence, fearing violent retaliation. What began as glamorous, celebrity-filled poker nights ultimately unraveled into a full-scale organized crime case, blending technology, greed, and power in one of the most elaborate cheating scandals poker has ever seen. What this means for poker. The fallout from this scandal is massive, and for anyone who truly loves poker, it's a gut punch. The game's foundation is built on trust. Every bet, every call, every bluff relies on the belief that the cards are fair and the game is clean. When technology, organized crime, and celebrity influence collide to manipulate outcomes, that trust shatters. Regulators and casinos are already tightening security, reviewing private game policies, and re-examining how tech is monitored at the table. Meanwhile, legitimate poker pros fear the damage to the game's reputation could drive sponsors, casual players, and new fans away, undoing years of progress in making poker a respected global sport. From the court to the card table. What began as an NBA betting scandal has now exploded into something far bigger. Federal investigators uncovered that illegal wagers were being placed using insider knowledge about players' health and injuries, including private details about LeBron James's playing status and even his physical condition before the public knew a thing. And here's the segue nobody saw coming. The trail of cash from those NBA bets led straight to underground poker games. So let's learn a little bit more about the NBA side of this scandal.
Joining me now, James Whelan, Executive Director of the Tennessee Institute for Gambling Education and Research, also Editor-in-Chief of the Journal of Gambling Studies. Good to have you here. First, let's talk about this case. 11 states, active NBA coach, NBA player. working on inside information, I mean, including, information on LeBron James's injuries, right? I mean, it's quite remarkable. Unprecedented in terms of the extent of this?
Oh, not at all. This has existed for over 100 years. When we think about the famous Black Sox story, the 1960s, the NIT, but very recently we've heard a number of stories where there are players, coaches, those involved with pro leagues and college leagues who've broken the rules.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm thinking of the baseball players, right? I mean, you had active pitchers, right, on the Cleveland Indians who were taking part in this kind of thing. It just strikes me, been watching this for some time, given all the money involved in sports gambling today and how widely it's promoted. I watch a lot of sports. I mean, gambling is like plugged into the coverage of it, right? Should we be surprised that you see this kind of illegal activity?
I would say not. I think that the cultural evolution around sports betting and how now gambling is part of every conversation. It used to be that people talked about sports, the numbers, the percentages, the hitting, the points, but now they talk about the lines, the over-under. But it's just not people generally, it's actually the commentators, it's the networks. It's social media that you can't separate out. It's the gamification of sports that they're now one and the same thing. So it's not surprising.
I mean, I'm wondering why pro sports, the government aren't seeing the risk and enacting restrictions, because obviously it affects the integrity of the game, right? I mean, that's the concern here. And yet the NCAA just approved a rule change that allows athletes and athletic staff to bet on professional sports. I mean, what are they thinking?
Yeah, I think that the leagues, including the NCAA, gets a lot of benefit from a greater viewership, greater revenues related to the ability to allow or be close to betting and gambling. And so that connectedness between those two industries are such that people aren't paying attention to the risk. They may spoil everything because the integrity of the sport is what is going to drive things in the end. People stop, we know from lots of research, when people stop believing in something, they turn sour on it, they'll turn away. Yeah. It's inherent that the leagues need to find a different voice here.
You hear from some folks who defend sports gambling that the technology is so great that the leagues can easily identify suspicious activity, as they did to some degree here, right? They looked at a big jump in betting in a short period of time on one player's over-under, and they're like, hey, wait a second, something bad's happening here. I mean, is that true, that the technology is good enough that you can see this stuff when it happens?
Yeah, it's not clear. That technology is kind of behind a curtain. So it's very hard to figure out whether they're catching them or whether or not there's a lot going on and they're just catching the most blatant of the experiences. It's completely not clear.
It's a crossover no one saw coming. Insider info from the NBA meeting high-stakes poker corruption. And the result? Two of America's most beloved games, both suddenly facing the same question. Who can you trust when everyone's playing for the inside edge? If you want more legendary poker scandals, Phil Hellmuth's epic blow-ups, and Daniel Negreanu's mind-bending reads, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. We've got plenty more poker madness coming your way. Thanks for watching.